Hello, this is Mr. Gambino here with a new stream. In this stream, we're going over the event week for this week from very early Thursday, Graph Online. But yes, starting off, there is 1.5 times money RP for the Hangar air freight cargo missions. But yes, Los Santos Drug Wars was like a permanent 3 times boost to the Hangar. So it used to be 10,000 per crate. As of this update, 30,000 per crate. So 50% more should be 45,000 per crate. So there's some very nice gem potential in this one. For sure. Here free definitely got some pretty nice money buffs for the DLC. It's definitely very nice. Talk more about it in the game. And then Hangar discounts. 30% off Hangar upgrades modifications. Hangar's a very nice property. One of the best spawning properties in the game as well. Because of all the crazy aircraft access, it's definitely in the top couple few spawning properties in the game. I would imagine for sure. My opinion, definitely. And then yeah, upgrade modifications. Main ones. The accommodation. You definitely want the accommodation so you can spawn at the hangar. Because I'm pretty sure it's a requirement to spawn there. Is spawn right now. It's spawn requirement to spawn there is definitely getting the accommodation, from what I recall. And then the hangar like workshop the modified vehicles, of course. Apparently this is the last week for that subscription year, where you can get the Karen Boar for free, as long as you pay the $6 subscription. But yeah, not really the greatest off-road vehicle for performance. The only real cool thing about it is it's a pretty new vehicle. In my opinion, it's not really that great as that's for the newness of it. I don't really recall it placing within top 10 anywhere. I forget from roughly 132. I forget from roughly 132's video thing now. Either way, there is better options for off-road anyways. And all that other kind of stuff. But yeah. Then I do have confirmation of unlocking all 4 things. So I got the thing for coupling elastis to unusual suspect on hard difficulty, the embroidered designer jeans. The first one on hard, I got me that. That one shows a pretty detailed image too. Whereas that one just shows like the update screen. the last is 4 reward. Someone's in my way, of course. But yeah. Last was 4. You originally had to do it without dying, but that's no longer a requirement. And I got me VDG. Heard again, black VDG. White designer jeans. And for doing all of those, you get the micro SMG finish. Same one from the artwork, as expected. But yes, now that somebody's out of my way, black VDG, got again black VDG, white designer jeans. Complete last those 4, checking in on hard. That's how that was obtained. Interesting thing on this one, you used to have it without dying requirement on it, but they actually removed the without dying requirement. Probably because it was super confusing, since you can only technically die at the very beginning. Because for most of the mission you can't even actually die. You just get like spawned into a small body of water essentially when you're in a hallucination and you don't actually die. It's confusing even for me. So glad they changed it. But it wasn't really too possible to die. So that was a pretty funny requirement. And yeah, WD camo micro SMG. As expected. That was one from like the little like artwork for the like main DLC artwork for the Drug War DLC. It's that same one from that, it looks like, as I thought it would be. And yeah, kind of already explained. The money's gonna be pretty insane on this one. You can have up to 50 crates at one time, pretty certain. Main strategy is to focus on just one set of crates though. Unfortunately, it does not work very good solo when you do it like that. It's mostly a groups. It's mostly a group business, I would say. Not too great solo, but it's mostly great with friends. Because if you want to stick to one cargo type, which is the most efficient kind of, then you are going to really want to be able to do 4 crates in one mission, which is the highest you can do in one mission with 4 players. 5 to 8 for MC, you don't get anything extra. For the amount you get on the source missions. And yeah, some of the sales aren't the most doable per se with solo as well. So I do feel it's a very group heavy business, unfortunately, but very good in the right circumstances. I want to say for a solo sale, you have to stay within like 10 crates. So for a guaranteed solo sale, I believe it's 10 crates or less for a guaranteed solo sale. That's very solo friendly. Or at least mostly guaranteed. Which I think in this event would still be like 450,000 at least, which is pretty nice. Or it's better than usual, obviously, for like 450,000 for a mission. Not too terrible for solo play, even, especially with the 50% more. And that's on top of that, like, times 3 bonus, like, permanent boost they did to the Hangar as of the Drug War DLC. And 2 times my RP on Turf War. It's just an adversary mode. You won't really be making more than like 100, 200,000. At most, you would probably make like $100,000, $200,000 at most. And that's being very generous. You probably even make like less than that. And that assumes the match goes well. That seems every round, every match goes pretty well. And you have very good teammates and stuff. And the game just lasts long in general. Not going to be very good for money making. But Turf War will be gone once it hits like June pretty much. It's one of those modes that they vault. They keep it in the game for like 1 month, then they vault the game, and it's one of those kind of modes. And yeah, I think that should be it here. Rest will be in game. Alright. Perhaps those could be some of the clothing items already being unlocked from the hard mode event. So unless there's there's any login reward, I don't really think so this time. So it's gotta be some hard mode stuff already unlocking. I was about to set all by like June 2nd or something on those what's any seconds or some shit for when they get delivered. But yes. As I pretty much always like to do near the beginning, like talk about these like time trials and stuff like that. So starting off this time around is Observatory for the regular time trial. Goes from Vinewood Hills over here, and then it goes to Grapeseed. In my opinion, it's honestly one of the easier time trials because the route is pretty infamous. Route is pretty infamous from like one of the story missions, like Catalibri from like the single player of the game, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you remember from the story mode mission, Catalibri, you basically go down like here and stuff. There's basically a lot of different like dirt sections to go through. And then you eventually get towards like the airstrip and stuff, and then there's like ramps you take and stuff. Those are also very good for this time trial because the route would pretty much be very similar. And once you get to here, it's pretty much like very standard for like the rest of the time trial. Should be more clear once I get to it, because I probably will be doing that, like I usually do. But yes, for good vehicles for time trials, I personally say a 9th gen, pretty much any HSW vehicle, especially the HSW Hangar Drag, the motorcycle HSW vehicle in the game. For 9th gen, the HSW is pretty much going to be your best bet. HSW Hangar Drag. I would say any of the few like HSW supercars, and then the Colonel Enterprise DLC HSW vehicles, which is the Sterling GT, and then Vigera ZX HSW. For supercars, it's the second 2 HSW, the Devastate HSW, and TNT HSW. I actually do not think you can use the weaponized Ignis in these anymore, unfortunately. When weaponized Ignis was first thing, you could use them in time trials, but you cannot really do that anymore. I believe as a Colonel Enterprise, they bolted it from time trials just because that's a weapon for some reason. And yeah, for 8th gen, where you do not have HSW, Nagasaki Shotaro, like the Tron bike, is pretty good for time trials. Regular Hangar Drag is pretty nice for time trials. I would say the new Power Surge, like first electric motorcycle, as of the latest Drug War DLC, is a pretty nice option. Shotaro and the Power Surge, I think you can do forward or backward on the stick for best possible speed, which is pretty good. Hangar Drag and HSW as well. You do like forward on stick as we can stop you for best possible speed. And then yeah, the Body 801's a pretty good budget choice. Body 801's like a day one 2013 motorcycle, and that's like $15,000. Upgrade cost would probably still be like under $500,000, which is pretty insane. It's also pretty usable in time trials, which is pretty good. That's a good budget option. And then, yeah. Manchester Scout from Cowprico can be pretty nice for top speed. And a faulty off-roadiness on this one, the Manchester Scout can be pretty nice for that as well. Being a dirt bike. And then the Western Reaver. Western Reaver from the contract DLC is a pretty insane top speed. Funny enough, I think it's actually better top speed than HSW Hawktail Drag from what I've heard, which is pretty funny. So it's pretty much number one top speed being on 9th gen for a motorcycle. But the HSW Hawktail Drag is clearly better for like a lap time pretty much over the Western Reaver. So those are pretty much all the good motorcycle options I can think of for 9th and 8th gen. If you're not going to use a motorcycle, I'd pretty much say a supercar. So again, that would be pretty much any of those couple HSW ones I mentioned earlier for 9th gen. 8th gen. 8th gen, it's the Progen Emirates, Benefactor Krieger, and then the Benefactor LM87 from what I recall. From what I recall for a lap time for the top couple for 8th gen. And top speed. Peepister 811 is pretty much number one for top speed for supercar class from 8th gen for what I recall. Which is from like mid 2016 Finance Felony DLC. Regular Devastate 8 for those that don't have HSW being on 8th gen or like PC, then Devastate 8 can be pretty good. For the regular one, that new NTMT, the regular one, can be pretty good as well for 8th gen in particular, where you don't have HSW. And pretty much the Banshee 900R, like the supercar Banshee, when you do the Benny's conversion and moves over to supercar class, that's pretty good for top speed. From what I recall for 8th gen supercar. And then RC Bandito time trial with Fuente Blanca, basically the Martin Madraza Ranch area for the time trial. Something different about this time trial compared to some other ones, by the way, there can be certain vehicle spawns that can kind of be in the way, which is kind of unfortunate. So be sure you're looking out for vehicles in certain sections when you're doing this one. Like I think like limousines and stuff can spawn on occasions, so be on the lookout for that. Since that can make some runs a little bit different. Whoa, shit. You know what's gonna happen eventually, goddammit. I found an export vehicle, it looks like. Might get to that after the casino. But yeah. Besides for a little bit of randomness with the vehicle spawns, you pretty much just gotta know the corner on it and stuff. So I either recommend looking at a video guide, or just keep doing it in like the actual game, and eventually you'll probably get it down over like enough like retries and like respawns and whatnot. only real thing you gotta, like, know is cornering for these RC Bandito time trials. Since you only get the one vehicle option they use at all, since it's called RC Bandito, you can only use RC Bandito on it. And yeah. For vehicle device, I pretty much already mentioned everything for vehicle device for HSW time trials. But do you know there is no park time on HSW time trials? So you can use any HSW vehicle you want. Park time is determined off of like the class of it or something. So you can really use anything. Of course, I pretty much gave my top Vita several recommendations earlier when talking about the regular time trial. And yeah, premium race this time around is a muscle car class. You should be able to go on the lobby screen and there should be like the option press like square, like X on Xbox, whatever on PC. You should be able to look at the map by doing that. So I won't be able to show exactly what it is on here because I'm not going to go into the lobby screen just to do that. But yeah, just pull up the map on like this, like lobby screen, whatever, you can do that. I'm pretty sure you can do that before you do a race. And if there's a lot of cornering, which there most likely would be, you would want lap time. If it's a lot of straight, if it's on like a highway or like an airport runway or something like that, on the rare occasion that might happen, then it would be more top speed focused. And yeah, not as familiar with muscle car class, I'll have to look a little bit into that one before I give some advice here. What I do know for 9th Gen, there's only 2 HSW muscle cars in the game. HSW Arbiter GT and HSW Vigero ZX. Arbiter GT from like the initial batch of HSW vehicles was kind of the worst one. So essentially the Arbiter GT is kind of the worst one of the initial batch of HSW vehicles, and therefore it's pretty bad for HSW vehicle, kind of. It's kind of similar to the NTMT of the recent update that's not super impressive for HSW, it's kind of like that, but for the muscle car class, the Arbiter GT HSW. But undeniably there's probably good enough advantage to still consider using it at least. If you're on 9th Gen where you have HSW Arbiter GT. And then the other one, which is the better of the two HSW ones, no doubt, for muscle car class, Vigero ZX. It's pretty much the #1 top speed in the entire game still, I'm pretty sure, even with Drug Wars, and that came out as a Criminal Enterprise DLC. So it's been the best, like, top speed vehicle for a good couple updates now. So easily, the Vigero ZX, I would definitely probably be using that one if you are on 9th Gen. But if you are on 8th Gen, looks like the Buffalo STX, Weevil Custom, and then the Dominator ASP are a couple of your good lap time options according to Bruffy 1322 spreadsheet. Buffalo STX is like the Monitech Buffalo in the game from Contracts. Weevil Custom is a custom Weevil from like the Benny's Workshop from the Criminal Enterprise DLC. And Dominator ASP is one of those like Dominators from the Tuner DLC. The actual good one, the ASP, not GTT, not to be confused with that one. Again, that's the ASP, not GTT. for a couple good top speed options for the muscle car class, Weevil Custom is again pretty good for top speed. Number 3 for both lap time and top speed. For the 9th gen version in particular, a little bit better in the 8th gen version where you don't have HSW even for Weevil Custom. Pisswasser Dominator looks to be pretty good still from like 2014. When like the single player of like the 8th gen version first came out. And then yeah, Buffalo SDX again for a good top speed option it looks like for 8th gen. So that should be some good enough guidance, whether you're on 8th gen or 9th gen for vehicle advice for the muscle car class. And again, you should be able to check the map by doing square, considering whatever on like PC, on the lobby screen, or like right before you do the race or something, while you're choosing your like vehicle. So there shouldn't really be any confusion on which on looking for lap time or top speed. But yes, podium vehicle for the week. Podium vehicle for the week is the Pegasus and Torno. Very infamous looking supercar from 2014. It's way back from 2014, so it's a pretty old one. It's not necessarily going to be the greatest performance. It was updated for like customization, like liveries and stuff in the Criminal Enterprise DLC though, and that was in 2022. So it's got some new freshness to it, which makes it more interesting now. As of the last several months, almost a year now even. RP's fucking boring though. I'll talk a bit more about it here, of course, now that I'm done spinning the wheel. What did I do to the visitor bonus? I think I did. Okay, yes I did. Just making sure, because I kind of forgot last time, I think. Almost. Yeah, should be two-door for sure here. Watching our motorsport. Again, it's 2014, so it's going to be pretty low on the ordering here. Alright, yes. It's as old as the High Life update. Again, that was like early to like mid 2014, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, because it's the old one, it's pretty inexpensive at only $725,000. Plus, with the added delivery support with Criminal Enterprise DLC, you can maybe add another like 20 to 30,000 at most if you keep delivery that's already on it. So I can make it more like $750,000 savings. You could easily make that money in like optimal like methods in 1 hour. You don't even have to be very efficient with like running passive businesses. You can do that in like a heist or something even pretty effectively without any of that running in the background even. But yes, very inexpensive. And yeah, it's such an old one, you could even get in the story mode of the game as well. So it's definitely a waste of garage space in online. So I do not really recommend going for this one, to be honest. It's kind of just a waste of garage space. You might think the modifications that were added in 2022 are exclusive to online, but no, you can actually do those modifications in the story mode too, actually. So you can actually do the newer 2022 liveries in story mode as well. I already did check when the DLC first released. So yeah, you can even do all the new customizations in story modes. That's not really a reason to get it online either. God damn, I forgot to cover performance then. Pick a little previous and discounts. But yeah, sorry about that, I forgot to mention performance numbers. But yeah, for the supercar class, going off of Bruffy 1322, Super G Racing YouTuber for GTA Online. Then Porno is in the C tier. C tier, it's not as bad as like F tier, obviously, but it's probably not going to be top 10 anywhere, I imagine, so not necessarily too great. That makes it 20th place for lap time, 39th place for top speed. But yeah, 20th place at most for lap time. Not that great. But yeah, not worth keeping for performance. And you can get the vehicle in story mode, including every single modification, even the new ones. So, I would skip it. Or I would sell it if you do get it. Oh yeah. I've been going to the casino after you despawned it, right? Whoops. Yeah, I think I despawned it by going in the casino. I forgot about that. Not that I really want to do the export vehicle per se. They get too much in the way sometimes. So I don't really care personally.
Followed you, right?
But yes, the gun van here.
You're gonna want to see what I did.
Since I found it, I do want to cover it right now and not later. Usually I cover it near the end, but since I found it, I will talk about it now.
That's mess.
But yeah, as per usual, knife and baseball bat. They're mainly there for delivery support for the Plus subscription on 9th Gen. 8th gen no matter what, and then 9th gen without subscription, it's pretty much useless to get these here though. Since you'll probably already have them anyways.
Can't be found anywhere but this van. Guaranteed.
And then up an atomizer. I believe this one's 50% off for the subscription only. Yeah, 50% off for subscription only.
Act now.
And I think Heavy Sniper's 25% off for everybody. Maybe a little more for Plus as well for the discount percentage. And then you have the musket and the advanced rifle. Talk about the musket and advanced rifle, since those aren't on discount. I kind of want to talk about them right this second here.
Just so you know.
We had a musket. Single shot. It's got a pretty crazy reload. The reload speed's pretty crazy, but you might be able to do the fast reload trick where you just switch weapons real quick and it might skip that reload anyways.
All my snipers come pre-calibrated.
Musket actually isn't too terrible. It's actually pretty interesting. It's got a pretty crazy lock-on range apparently, which is actually pretty surprising for something like a musket. It's actually pretty good lock-on range and stuff. People tend to actually use it to kill Mark II griefers actually, which is pretty crazy. Musket's actually pretty good for taking out Mark II users. For those that despise those people for any reason, despite constant nerfs to it. Yeah, musket can be pretty good for taking out people on flying bikes, apparently. Advanced rifle. In my opinion, I think it's definitely one of the top couple assault rifles for Mark I assault rifles. Not counting Mark II, I think it's definitely in the top couple that I would definitely use. In addition to like the heavy rifle and then like the service carbine, I think there are a couple of better ones that came out much later than it. There are like much more recent additions to the game.
Rifle speaks for itself.
The advanced rifle is a pretty nice Mark I assault rifle. Definitely top couple for Mark I assault rifle easily for me.
Won't find that in ammunition. Ha!
But yeah, honestly, advanced rifle.
Won't be here forever.
Honestly, advanced rifle fell off though. Heavy sniper, not heavy sniper, but heavy rifle and then the service carbine. Those also have 60 ammo capacity, but they're newer.
Trust me.
Heavy rifle might be a slightly more damaging version, kind of a advanced rifle. Service carbine, one downside to that is it does not have a scope. I don't think you really need a scope, to be honest, for the service carbine to be very good, and it's got some pretty insane fire rate too. So honestly, I think with a couple of the latest assault rifle editions, this definitely fell off a bit, but still very good.
If I were you, I'd snap that up while the deal's on.
Checking Newswire real quick, make sure I'm correct on the discounts. Looked earlier, I should be right. Alright, yeah. Up an atomizer, 50% off for the subscription only. And then heavy sniper, 25% off is indeed correct.
That's black market only.
But yes. Probably talk about them out here, to be honest.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, the up an atomizer. This one's a very damn nice weapon. Very great utility weapon. It's infinite ammo. Has like the stun gun ammo kind of look to it, so it's infinite. Because of that, it's infinite. It can ragdoll vehicles. It can like move vehicles which is very useful if you get a vehicle stuck that has like cargo in it, for example. But yes, very useful to have for different business missions for sure, for business sell missions. In case your vehicle were to get stuck, this thing can be a very good lifesaver, no doubt. And if there is even more advantages, it's not really needed for me to see it, to be honest, because I already mentioned a couple things that make it very damn good. And then it's the heavy sniper. Not the Mark II, but it is the Mark I. But when you get it, you might as well upgrade it to Mark II as well if you can. Because it's one of two. It's one of two Mark II weapons that allow for the explosive rounds. The only other one that has explosive ammo at all is Pump Shotgun Mark II, and that's explosive slugs, which is only real good at close range, pretty much, for the most part. This one's very nice for far range. Very good at taking out aircrafts. The railgun kind of made it a little more redundant. The railgun does have like travel time too, so you do have to like lead up your shots or something though. So you have to be more skilled with the railgun. It can one-shot a jet, which is the main advantage over the explosive sniper. But for pretty much any other case, you're pretty much better off using the explosive sniper still, as far as I've heard. But yeah, I would definitely get the Mark I, just upgrade it to Mark II. Mark I heavy sniper is definitely very solid as well, though, if you want to keep it at Mark I, though. But explosive rounds alone, I think, is very good reason to get Mark II. For that 25% off general sale on the heavy sniper.
Only sold by yours truly.
Throwables this time around is the Molotov, Sticky Bomb, and Pipe Bomb. Molotov is a pretty signature one you can buy at the gun van pretty much all the time. Sticky Bomb is pretty much the best throwable in a sense in the game. Pipe Bomb is basically a lesser Sticky Bomb essentially. Kind of more grenade based as well, where it's off like a timer and stuff too, I believe. At least when you initially like start using it. And yes, that's right, the only other offerings obviously is like the armors and whatnot.
Alright, find me again soon.
Now for the LS car meet. So I can talk about the test rides, prize ride, premium test ride, and possibly other stuff too. But yes, starting off with test rides here, there's the Lampadati Ferrari GT or whatever. Might have butchered pronunciation there, but shouldn't be too far off at least. At least it sounds like the letters kind of at least, I think the way it's said in there. Vado Greenwood. And then the Dacia Rapid GT Classic. Now, Rapid GT Classic and then the Ferrari GT should be on regular full price, I believe. So those ones aren't too worth getting unless you want to pay full price on those. Unless I mentioned anything good about performance or anything. And Bravado Greenwood is actually pretty interesting because it is in a Monitech vehicle. And it's also the one that is on discount actually too. So this one I won't talk about the performance, I'll talk more about its capabilities and like free mode and stuff. Now for Rory GT, okay, for 48,000, it's a pretty old vehicle from like 2014, like 2015, I'm pretty sure, so I think they do actually spawn in like in traffic and story mode especially, maybe sometimes like GT Online, because yeah. I think it was probably like a last Steam Standing update, which was like a 2013 or 2014 DLC. I think definitely 2014 DLC at some point. Maybe a little bit before the 8th gen version came out. And again, it's kind of similar times to like when Distant Porno released. So that does mean you can obtain it in the story mode of the game. So therefore, it is a waste of garage space. And yeah. It's not on discount, I'm pretty sure, so I'm not going to say performance numbers on this one. I think it's in like the sport class or something, which is like the most oversaturated class of the game. I think like 100 vehicles in it now, which is pretty insane. I doubt because of its age, it's all that good now. So it's probably pretty trash performance. Oh, it's in Sport Classic. Oh wait, no. I was looking at the wrong one, never mind. It is indeed in Sport Class, like I was saying. The most oversaturated class of the game. And again, it's definitely one of those old, like... It is definitely one of those older DLC vehicles that's in story mode for sure. I know that for a fact, pretty much. Something kinda cool about it is it is actually from, like, 2D Universe. I think the 2D Universe actually features it in Grand Theft Auto 2, if I recall right, which is pretty cool. So it is actually a throwback vehicle, so that's pretty cool. For possible personal preference reasons. Besides for it being a throwback vehicle, honestly, not really too worth it. Again, it should be able to be obtained in story mode, so it's a waste of a garage space typically though. So I wouldn't really get it. On to the Bravado Greenwood. Another throwback vehicle, actually it does feature in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas from the 3D universe, which is pretty cool. It was a sweet car in that game, it was pretty tight as fuck in this story and shit. And it's even better in this game, I would argue, since it does have the Monitech capabilities. Now, being a newer Monitech vehicle, it does lack some features of other Monitech vehicles that is worth knowing about. First one is you do not get the bullet-resistant glass. Bullet-resistant glass is not a thing at all in this vehicle. So it's just like pretty much any other car window in the game where it's no bullet resistance whatsoever in that regard. And pretty much any regard at all even. And the only other difference I think really is there's no front-mounted machine guns you can get on this one either. Since that's a thing only on like earlier Monitech vehicles, not the newer ones. Don't know why they took such great features away on like the newer Monitech vehicles, but that's a thing. So do not expect the bullet-resistant glass and the machine guns on the Greenwood. Unfortunately, it's not going to be too useful for your money making though. I would say without the mounted machine guns. I think it's the main thing that makes the older ones pretty good for money making in some cases for small like VIP work and stuff. You can still do that kind of stuff, obviously, with it, but you won't have like mounted weaponry, and you'll have to use your own weapons, which is then at that point, what's the point of even using the Greenwood itself for VIP work or something? Instead of like just using your own weapons with like an air vehicle or something, that would get you around the map quicker. But yeah, the things it does still have, being in a money tech vehicle though, armor plating. You can put armor plating on it, which gives it more explosive resistance. At default, it doesn't have any RPG or like sticky bomb like grenade resistance. I think it does resist homing launchers a little bit without armor plating. Like I think it can take a couple until it gets destroyed by like the third homing launcher without armor or something. Which is not very much armor at all. So definitely would go for the armor plating for sure. But if you don't want armor plating, if you want it to look more civilian, then you do get a tiny bit of little explosive resistance, I'm pretty certain. From what I've heard. But otherwise, the explosive resistance can be kinda quite nice. Armor plating should have silk mines. It's definitely a thing that's still on the current mining tech vehicles, just silk mines. Not a very useful mine type per se, all it does is like spin vehicles out. For spin vehicles out, that could be kinda nice for certain missions, possibly. But again, it's not gonna be very useful to use in missions without the mounted machine guns, I would say, no. But again, it could be something at least. I think aside for that, it's pretty much already the like money tech features, the missile lock-on jammer and remote control unit that are exclusive to money tech vehicles. I think missile lock-on jammer for sure on this one, as he would for most of them anyways, and also like electric vehicles, which I think are like the only ones really too worth the remote control unit, to be honest. Especially with there being two of them now, as of the drug war DLC now. But yes. Missile lock-on jammer, it's not too speedy of a mine tech vehicle, I assume, so you definitely do want that missile lock-on jammer. Missile lock-on jammer combined with the explosive resistance. If you're not getting hit too much by missiles, then you should definitely be pretty good for a long time in a free mode lobby. You can definitely get some of the most free mode survivability in the game with some of those mine tech vehicles. Unless you're dealing with like a jet cannon or something that's not lock-on per se. Usually, it's pretty much the main stuff you'd probably have to worry about for explosives. So yeah, even with the removed features, it's definitely very worth the garage space for sure. And mining tech vehicles, even with removed features, definitely pretty nice. That's not as good as the original one on contract, pretty much. And yeah, something worth noting on this one that you don't get with most of our mining tech vehicles is because it's a muscle car, you should be able to muscle car wheelie with it too. So because it's a muscle car, you can do muscle car wheelies. Therefore, it can get you over certain bumps on like highways and stuff. But because the Buffalo STX is a fan as well, which is the better muscle car and money tech vehicle in the game that can pretty much do the same thing. It's not really saying too much on this one, to be honest, but again, it's something at least. Like the silk mines, it's kind of not really too thought about per se. So that can definitely be nice for certain shortcuts, possibly. If you're like in a bad situation, you need to get off like a highway or something, then it does have muscle car wheelies at least. From my understanding, it should. I think pretty much any muscle car, as long as it's classified as muscle car, tends to have the wheelie feature. And yeah, the Apache Rapid GT Classic. This one is full price, so you will be spending $885,000. No discount on it at all. 30% off of this, by the way, $1,025,500. Yeah, $1,025,500, whatever. That is on a trade price, I'm pretty sure. It is on a trade price, which is from one of those like UOP missions and whatever. Which is, I think, on. I think you get the trade price for this one by doing one of those UOP missions. That was from the Criminal Enterprise DLC. I want to say it's like the very first mission you do gets you the Greenwood trade price. It's not a very difficult trade price to obtain. You just gotta like start the strand of UOP missions, pretty much. So you might as well get that 25% off trade price, whatever, too. So you can get it this low. And yes, this one is indeed normal price here. And yeah, it is in Sport Classic class. I think it is actually pretty good for performance. But yeah. But yes. I'm not gonna go over performance numbers since it's not on discount. But if I do recall right, it is actually pretty good performance, actually, believe it or not. Sport Classic class has a lot of like old supercars, so you might not think much of the performance on this one. But I do believe the performance is actually pretty good on this one, if I recall right. I'm just not going to go into exact numbers when it's not on discount now. So do keep that in mind. Prize ride vehicle this time around. Looks to be also a Jugular. 4-door sport car. It is the 4-door sport car, which isn't the most often thing, which is pretty nice. 4-door sport cars can be pretty nice. I think it's pretty much the top like 4-door sport car as well, I believe. And then also Jugular is actually from the 2D universe of GTA, similar to the Ferrari GT I talked about earlier, whatever. I think it's in the very first Grand Theft Auto game, Grand Theft Auto 1, that has the Ocelot Jugular. So it's a pretty cool flashback vehicle from that game. Fun fact, in that game as well, there was a Jugular manufacturer, so it was actually like double Jugular. It was Jugular, which is pretty funny. Whereas in this game, it's Ocelot Jugular, because there's no Jugular manufacturer in HD Universe, there's 2D Universe, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it is a free vehicle you can earn, so we'll be going over performance of it in a little bit. But yeah, challenge this time around apparently involves Pursuit Series. Top 1 for 4 days in a row. Top 1 in a pursuit race where you have to have at least 4 players. It's like 25% chance, pretty much. Odds aren't very great on that one. So unless you're playing with like a couple of friends and doing the challenge, it's just not going to be too worth it, I feel. $1,225,000 high end. With trade price $918,750. I believe this one's in the Damasceno heist, so I think you earn every Damasceno heist for the trade price. Alright, yes you do. Even though it's from the Resort DLC, it was added for like heist update as a usable vehicle there. You can really use the getaway vehicles, it's just better using like a police car or something. And not an actual getaway vehicle. The actual getaway vehicles themselves don't tend to be that good. But yeah, as the description says, you just selected the vehicle as a getaway vehicle. You don't have to actually use it, thankfully. Pretty easy trade price if you got the way for it. Not too difficult to obtain. But yes. Now to go over performance of it. The Ocelot Jugular in the sport class have 100 vehicles in the game. It is in the A tier according to Roughly 152 spreadsheet, which is very good. That's only one tier beneath the S tier, which is basically the best tier of the game. Or pretty much the best tier of a tier list is S. So A is very respectable. But yeah, Jaguar, that's 12th place lap time, 11th place top speed. So it's actually outside of top 10 performance for both lap time and top speed. But yeah. It does look to be. But yeah. Even though it's not within top 10, it does look to be the best performance you can get out of 4 doors for a sport car, so that's something at least. Though on 8th gen, it should actually be within like top 10, I believe, since you won't have the S95 HSW and you won't have the Banshee HSW on 8th gen, since you don't have HSW on those systems and PC as well as of the current moment. And yeah, weaponized Ignis. I mentioned the weakness already on that. You cannot use it on the time trials anymore. Regular and HSW, you cannot use it for time trials, unfortunately, anymore. From what I have heard. But I'm trying to think here. It's the only weaponized HSW vehicle in the game, so that makes it very interesting in its own regard, even without time trials. So it can be used for certain money opportunities like VIP works and stuff that other ones would not really be too beneficial for. So it can be used in certain VIP works, which is good. Not as good as the weaponized Tampa with like the fully rotatable machine gun, unfortunately. But having a weapon at all is obviously something at least. It even has like a countermeasure on it, which is essentially the missile lock-on jammer of like the Imani Tech vehicles, but for that. But no armor on it, so you don't get the like armor there. So if you do get hit by any explosive, it still gets destroyed, even with the countermeasure it has. But you are protected from lock-on missiles because of that, which is nice. And with HSW speeds, you might be pretty hard to hit with HSW speeds on it now. Definitely a very high recommendation for me, I would say, for sure. Well, in Asian there I showed like the race type that was for the challenge. I forgot to do that this time. Again, it's pursuit races, which is unfortunate because it's a 4-player requirement. But again, it was like top 1 for 4 days in a row, I'm pretty certain it was. So again, first place out of 4 people, that's like 25% chance essentially. Assuming everyone's a pretty great racer in your lobby, whatever, then it's essentially a good 20. That's essentially a measly 25% chance of getting first in the first place. It's not even that expensive, so you might as well just buy it, honestly, over just doing a pretty terrible challenge for it. I do get it, it's a very good vehicle, it's a very good 4-door sport car, it's pretty much the best 4-door sport car performance you can get in the game. So I can get it having a pretty tough challenge, but you might as well just buy it. You can easily grind that money in like 1 hour, probably, with efficient methods. It's not like it's $2 million-ish or anything. That would be more worth, like, challenge doing it, especially for a difficult challenge. Yeah, I think in 8-gen you should be able to get within top 10 for the jugular though, like I was saying again later on, but 9-gen is just not within top 10 territory. But again, it's pretty much the best 4-door sport car performance apparently, so that's something. And yeah, luxury autos. There is one discount here, and that will be the one on the right. Gradi Vision, that should be full price, and then Ubermacht SC1 is 30% off, it looks like, from what I saw earlier. $2,270,520. Vision, I think that's a supercar from like the Smuggler Run DLC. Supercar from the Smuggler Run DLC to go along with like the Hangar stuff and whatnot. Yeah, I don't really recall it being good performance. I'm not going to give any numbers on performance since it's not a discount, so I'm not going to bother with that, but I do not recall it being very good. So I'd probably skip this one. Unless you want it for like customization, personal preference reasons. Ubermacht SC1 should be the 30% off. Here, from what I recall. I'm gonna confirm that right now though. Yeah, supercar 30% off SC1. Unfortunately, I don't think it's very good though. I'll be confirming that in a little bit here. Going off of Bruffy 152 spreadsheet, the racing YouTuber I mentioned again. SC1. It is in the E tier. E tier is like only one tier above F tier, so that's very bad. And everyone knows in like school and shit, F's a very bad letter. Yeah, SC1. 46th place for lap time. And 47th place for top speed, apparently. God fucking damn, though. It's in the high 40s for both lap time and top speed, and it's insane. Yeah, you're not really going to want to use this tunnel race then. Realistically. So yeah, unfortunately, that's a pretty garbage discount. $1,122,100 on the 30% off. So it's a supercar you could probably grind in like 1 hour. Even though Caprica was nerfed for the heist, I do feel it's still a very good measurement of like how much money you can make per hour still. Because technically, it might be much harder now, since characters can detect bodies in Cowboy Heist now, it's probably harder heist to complete. But it's probably still ways to complete it pretty efficiently. You count on like heisting communities and shit to figure out it. Do heist pretty effectively, even with all the nerfs Rockstar do on them. So yeah, you can probably go in an hour. So if you want to really quick, if you really want to get a supercar quickly, it's kind of nice. If you don't have many of them, but again, the performance is pretty fucking garbage though. So I would pretty much just fucking avoid it now. And yeah, Simeon's, I want to say it just has one discount, two at most. But yeah, it's kind of the theme that they've been doing for a long while now. They basically do like one vehicle in a test track, the Electriados and Simeon's, and like all the other ones are full price. It's a theme they've been doing for a long while. But yeah, Vapid Retinue, Class A Impaler, Vapid Flash GT looks to be the discount. The Dinka Jester, and then the Ubermax Sentinel XS. Interestingly, on the newswire, I think they call it the regular Sentinel, but I think I knew it was pretty much the XS when I noticed there was a livery on it. Because the regular Sentinel actually does not have livery support, because it's pretty much the same thing from day one of the game. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting ones in here, including the non-discount options. But yeah. Again, I'm not going to mention exact performance numbers on 4 of them. I'm just mainly going to do that for Flash GT over here, since it's the one on discount. I do got some things to say about some of them, though. But yes, Vapid Retinue. Regular price on that, $637,800. Possibly trade price, possibly not, but I don't think so. I think it kind of fits like the Smuggler Run theme. I think it was introduced in Smuggler's Run. Because it kind of fits that theme, I believe, there. But yeah. You gotta keep in mind with the Retinue, there is the Retinue Mark II in the game. There is a Mark II version of the Retinue, essentially, which is essentially a successor to the Retinue. I know I'm not making that up, I'll show it off somewhere. Much seats in here? Okay, looks to be 2. So I assume the Mark II is also a 2-seat then. Should be on this site. But yeah, Retinue Mark II, and that's the thing as well. So, no real reason I would say to get the Mark 1 Retinue, really. Because Mark 2 Retinue would probably get you better customization and better performance. So I don't really see much of a reason to get this one. Class A Impaler. This one's a pretty interesting one. Very inexpensive for the regular one. $355,774. Very affordable. But yes. It's one of those nostalgic vehicles, again, in like the 2D universe of GTA games. It was apparently in the very first GTA game for the Impaler, so that's a pretty cool throwback there. So it does have some throwback nostalgia to it. The most interesting thing about the Impaler, though, is it can actually weaponize it, though. Not the version you see here, but if you buy it and you take it into the arena, you can actually arena upgrade it to like an arena version, which then lets you put like weaponry on it and all kinds of stuff, and lets you use it in like the arena game modes. So if you upgrade it, you can use it in this entire arena war section, which is pretty nice. So it gives it some money making potential. It's not a super great arena vehicle. I would say it's pretty average at best. I don't think there's anything too spectacular with that one. But it's a pretty average vehicle, which is pretty acceptable for the arena game modes. It definitely has some nice uses. Also, car wheelies could maybe give you some advantages, if assuming you can do that kind of thing in the arena game modes with the muscle car wheelies. Talking about the major one to talk about here, since it is on the 30% off discount. Yes, the discount is indeed 30% off. It is in the sport class, which again is the most oversaturated class, with like 100 vehicles in it now, which is fucking crazy. And yeah, Flash GT, it is a rally style sport car, which tend not to be very good in the game now. Rally sport cars are not mostly focused on speed per se. From my understanding, rally style sport cars don't tend to be that good performance. Trying to look for it on Breathy 152 spreadsheet here. Alright, Flash GT, okay. Found it. So 30% off of that. 1,197,580. So yeah, it's probably like an hour like effort, kind of like some other ones I've been kind of mentioning. But yeah, Flash GT apparently is at the very like top of C tier, not A tier or even B tier, but C tier. Enough for 30th place for lap time apparently. 30th place in lap time, but 66th place on top speed though. So you're not in top 20 performance even, you're like top 30 performance even at best. And because there's 100 like sport cars in the game, 66 is below average between the entirety of the class for top speed. Yeah, I wouldn't really get this one to be honest. It's mostly a waste. Similar to the SC1, I just would not get it really. Unless you just really want it for personal preference reasons. And then the Dinka Jester. This is a very old vehicle, similar to ones like the 4 GT and the Zentorno I was kind of already talking about. Which is like a 2014 DLC vehicle. Which means it's so old you can get in the story mode of the game, because that was back when they actually put DLC vehicles in story mode too. So it is a waste of garage space because of that, I would definitely say. I think from there's not really too much worth bringing up about it, to be honest. I would say this one's pretty much just mostly a waste of garage space. I'm not going to talk performance numbers since it's not on discount now. And then the Ubermax Sentinel XS. Pretty interesting on-discount option like the Impaler over here. And it can be pretty useful in the right circumstances, actually.
Greetings.
But yes. Classing is pretty interesting on this vehicle. It's in the Coupe class, I believe it is. I think it's the only Coupe that has an HSW upgrade as well. So it's a pretty unique classing for HSW vehicle, and it's the only one of the HSW vehicles for that class. So that definitely gives it some pretty unique utility there. Something like the Karen Previan, though, I believe that doesn't have HSW, can still be pretty competitive with it, though. Previan, I think, might be better for lap time, but this is definitely the better option for top speed, from what I recall. Being HSW, I'm not talking about the regular performance, by the way, I'm talking about HSW there, because that's pretty much the main reason to get it, really. Even on 810, it was revisited with like new modifications and like livery support and stuff. That was something they actually did in the Chrono Enterprise DLC on this vehicle. So it was pretty cool they revisited it with new livery support, and that was even after the vehicle got the HSW treatment. So yeah, new upgrade modifications. Chrono Enterprise is a good reason to get it for 8th gen possibly. But again, you won't get the wild performance of it like you can at 9th gen though, so I probably still wouldn't get it for 8th gen though. It's probably better Capace you can get than this one, especially for 8th gen. But 9th gen, it's definitely worth it for the HSW upgrade you can do. With the upgrade modifications they did on Chrono Enterprise, the sides, even without that, just HSW alone makes it great. Again, I think it's the only one of Coupe class that's HSW, so very good incentive to get it. I think I've mentioned pretty much anything I can think about for this, for sure. But yeah. I think Jester definitely has to be the worst discount since he can get it in story mode anyways, so it's a waste of ground space. Then the Retinue's second worst discount since it's just Retinue Mark II. Flash GT, in a sense that's the only one on discount, it kinda makes it the best one to get here. If you account for non-discount options, I would say it's basically in the middle for which ones are worth getting. Honestly, I would maybe probably say the XS would probably be the number 2 discount. Since even though it does have HSW, you probably wouldn't use it too much, I would assume, aside for something like a car show or something pretty niche. And even in coupe races, it's not a very common type of race. Same with HSW class races, you're more likely to be doing like supercar races, like motorcycle races, and whatever kind of stuff. Yes, you can use it in HSW time trials, there's a very good incentive for it. But yeah, why not use like a quicker vehicle anyways for the most part? The only reason I really use different vehicles is because I do YouTube shit. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I'd probably personally always use the drag myself personally. Or the HSW time trials. And yeah, because this one with the arena upgrade version, because this one with the arena upgrade gains the weapon support, I think it easily makes it the best option here this time around. Having weapons that you can put on it, making it very nice for free mode usage for VIP works and stuff like that. And it even has some unique usage in the arena, which not a lot of vehicles have that use. That gives it some nice money opportunity and potential, in addition to the excess here. So again, Jester would be 5 for me in the ranking of the offerings here, discount or not. This would be 4, that would be 3, this is 2, and then this is 1 for me personally. Where like worst to best. And then from there, I think it's pretty much just gonna be money opportunities and discounts. No major new content addition, by the way, whatsoever, if the title wasn't very clear on that. Should be though, since I did event week stream when I usually do like week editions when there is a content edition. And yeah, Hangar's been a fan for a while and everything, so shouldn't be too confusing that there's no new content whatsoever. I don't think I should have really had to specify, but just in case I decided I'd mention it now, so I don't think I mentioned that. So I'll start with remaining money opportunities. Yeah, again, the Hangar, the business is 50% more right now. And again, it's on top of that 3 times permanent boost they did with the Drug War DLC. So yeah, I think normally you get 30,000 per crate as of Drug Wars now instead of the 10,000 from before. Plus on top of that now you add 50% more, so again I think it's 45,000 per crate, which is pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy base amount for one crate. Again, I think 10 is pretty much the highest you want to go if you're trying to make it a pretty solo friendly like sale for the most part. I think I've heard 10 is the amount you want to do at most if you're doing solo play pretty much. So in that case that'd be like 450,000. That's kind of what I mentioned. Pretty respectable for 10 crates, to be honest. I think I can kind of get it pretty close to like bunker levels of money making for the current event. One bunker's on 2 times, by the way, from what I recall. Plus you have to source the crates. There's no buying the crates. You don't have to like lose that 75,000 like you do with the bunker when you buy the supplies and let it produce passively. And yeah, if you can, stick to one cargo type for 50, and that's the best money you can make. I want to say like normally it was like 850-ish thousand if you stuck to one cargo type before the times 3 boost. That was permanent with Drug Wars. So with that, like times 3 boost of Drug Wars, that's like in the 2 million range for that. Plus 50% more would probably make it like high 3 mil, maybe like 4 million. You can maybe make upwards on the entire Hangar business in one sale with it all maxed out. Yeah, you can make some pretty solid money on a 50% more. In addition to the permanent triple boost they did with Drug War. Very crazy money opportunity for sure. Definitely do not sleep on it. It used to be pretty bad no matter the money opportunities, but because of the permanent boost and Drug Wars, it's actually a pretty solid business when they do stuff with the money opportunities now. And again, if you can, try to do it with friends, so you can do like 4 crates per mission, up to. Because yeah, doing it solo for 50 is definitely a pain in the ass. But yes. Next I want to go into a certain set of contact missions. Given there's a last ghost event going on, I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to talk about. But it's not last dose, it's similar though. It's first dose. First dose 1 to 6. says it's 1.5 times. It shows 2 times. It shows 2 times, but I don't think there's a 1.5 times indicator, so do you know it is 1.5 times apparently, and not 2 times. According to the Rockstar Newswire. According to the game, it's 2 times, but according to the Newswire, it's 1.5 times. Not too sure which one it would be then, personally. Kind of willing to believe the Newswire over the game, personally. But yeah, welcome to the troop. For first dose missions, I think they're pretty hard for first dose missions. For the first one, I don't think it's too efficient to grind for money personally for first dose, because the combat can be pretty painful on that one. Because you start out with an ambush on like your 8th, essentially. Similar to last dose 1, which I played again last week for the hard mode event. Missions where you can like ambush right away at the very start by a fuck ton of enemies. I just do not think it's that good. This designated driver. This one's definitely much more doable than the first one, so I think it's a pretty nice one to grind efficiently if you want to, like, continuously. You might be able to put it in like a mission playlist or something. You might be able to constantly replay it for like a mission playlist. Fatal Incursion. This one you have to find like meth packages. Apparently they made it easier. Apparently they made Fatal Incursion easier though, apparently at some point. But even with the like difficulty decrease, I assume it's still not that great. Finding having to find like product in a certain radius, I just do not feel is that great for contact mission. Having to find like product in a certain radius and they don't give you exact locations just is not a very good idea in my opinion for a mission. It's more annoying than it is fun, really, when they do that kind of type of mission. I would definitely say. I think 1 and 3 are definitely the main ones to avoid. Or uncontrolled substance. You can't really die on that mission, it's a hallucination. Between first dose and last dose, it's kind of the easiest mission of the entire set of those 11 missions. But because of how easy it is, it's gonna be not that great payout. I don't know if there's really even much of a way you can like stretch this out to like 16 plus minutes, and even then it wouldn't really necessarily be too worth it. I would imagine. Even on like a simple mission like that. Make war, not love. Not too bad aside for the way end, I feel, where there's like the Valkyrie helicopter. Valkyrie can be kind of pretty annoying, but yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of the easier ones for first dose. And off the rails is like the stealth mission. It's the final ones, though in some ways it's kind of difficult being the final mission. It's stealth though, so you can make some of the mission pretty easy if you're careful with the stealth. So it's definitely a pretty fun one. So I would say avoid 1 and 3 pretty much. 2, 4, 5, and 6 are the especially nice ones. If I had to make it 3 and 3, I would probably say the 5th one you would kind of remove from that list. kind of even fourth one maybe instead, just because it's not even much of a mission really. So it kind of limits the payouts, I presume. But I don't know. Having a pretty chill mission for once where you can't really die definitely makes it pretty fun. So I do highly recommend this one in some cases. But yes, as for now, Outlastos is still going on because of the hard mode event for the 2 times. Or really 1.5 times money RP apparently, according to the newswire. I assume they just don't have 1.5 time indicators for the... I assume they just don't have like 1 point... God damn it, I can't speak right now. Kind of. I assume they just do not have 1.5 times money indicators and stuff for the like pop-up things they put on there. So I assume they just use 2 times, but it's really 1.5 times. Because I assume they're kind of a little too lazy to implement 1.5 times on there. So I'd probably go off the newswire, not the in-game indicators. I'm not going to really mention advice on these. I played them last event. Check out my previous stream or something if you want some recommendations for Elastos. Or even like play through all of them again for the micro SMG finish, so I do re-experience them. So I can maybe give some more updated takes in my opinion. And yeah. The nice thing about that hard mode event now, they didn't do it on the first newswire for some reason, I believe. But they actually show images for all of the unlocks, finally. I don't know why they didn't do that in the initial newswire, but all 4 of them do have proper images. Only half of them actually did on the main menu, but you can actually see what everything looks like this time around. Checking in clothing, clothing for completing mission number 4 of Elastos without dying. Or not without dying anymore, like I mentioned earlier, they did remove that confusing requirement. Because you can't really even die on Elastos 4 unless you just really stuck in the beginning part, which is not easy to do at all, even on hard mode. Can't really die during hallucinations, that was really confusing. I'm glad they removed it on hard. They should have done it on a different mission instead, like maybe the stealth mission and like the morgue like reskin, where you go to rescue a brat in the interior or whatever. They should have done that without dying on hard instead because of the stealth mechanics, I feel. That would have been a lot more interesting, I feel. But yeah, checking in on hard. That clothing unlock looks really sick. The glasses are kind of okay, I guess, in my opinion. Which is the one for this intervention, mission number 1 for Elastos. Designer jeans are okay. Looking, in my opinion, for mission number 2. For hard difficulty. And oh yes, micro SMG camo looks sick as fuck. Now I did actually have some clothing like notifications. I did want to see if I have those actually already. Yeah, there was like indicators on like the social club notifications that was popping up earlier for me or something that there was clothing unlocks provided to me, so I do want to see that. If that's already a thing for me or not. I would assume so, because I definitely don't recall there being any login rewards this event. Yeah, this event, I definitely don't recall any, like, login rewards. I don't think the login rewards typically, like, pop up with that, I think, in other events. So I don't think it's a login reward, per se, that I would have got notified about. Or actually, I could have probably checked off the glasses, perhaps. Since glasses, I can probably just right now on my character, I believe. Should have thought of that before we go in here and did it. Okay, I don't know how far the glasses area would be, per se. Oh yeah, I do have the glasses, it looks like. Yeah, the pink. Oh, okay. It's two different ones, right? Lime is the coin wraps, and then the pink. So yeah, I do have those already. Some of those are already unlocked, apparently. So it does actually make you want to check for the micro SMG finish as well, actually. That would be tight. Micro SMG does not have a Mark II weapon variant. It would actually be one I can use in like the Pump Shotgun Mark 1, I think was what they did for the first Dose Hard mode. That they added later on for first Dose Hard mode and not on that first day they did it. Why says something about the armories? I'm not sure you have to go there or not. Liveries, gun tins you can pretty much do anywhere, I think, though. So I assume you should be able to do it here, though. Oh, yes, is there? Let's go. Honestly, use the mirrors on so many other weapons. I probably will use that for sure. I think I will do that, definitely. But again, does not have a Mark II variant, so it's a very good choice. Because I think during first dose they did Pump Shotgun, which is fucking garbage. Not even Mark II, that was fucking Mark 1 that they did it for a Pump Shotgun in the first dose hard mode event. Like, why? He's gonna run Mark 1 over a Mark 2 Pump Shotgun. But yeah, it's a free unlock. I like the organics. I'm definitely willing to do that over that. There's definitely other weapons that have the use of a mirror, right? Yep. Some mirror luxury finish on the MD. For example. Definitely. Let's fucking go.
Now don't get too crazy with that, you hear?
Oh no, I'm totally going crazy on that. I'm totally gonna be using that again. Except not really. I will not be using that again. My ammo always gets taken away for the fucking micro SMG anyway, so I never really get to use it, to be honest. Ooh, it's nice and sleek in first person. I don't have glasses on, but I think it gives enough. I think it gives enough vibes of how it looks. Military camo on this micro SMG, that's fucking sick. Very sick unlock for the micro SMG. definitely keeping it like that. Like I said, use of mirrors on plenty of weapons, I'm fine taking that off. I'd rather have a more unique livery anyways, more unique weapons and all that, and all that shit. For all the different terminologies you can say for that, really. And yeah, size per first dose. Size per first dose 1.5 times money. Technically, I covered every single money opportunity. Because the last one's 2 times on Turf Wars, which is already on the what's new section, whatever. I guess I'll show it for those that want more of an idea of what that is. As it sounds like, it's essentially Turf War. You basically take turf but with vehicles. So it's kind of like the Turf War stuff in San Andreas, kind of from 3D Universe, but with vehicles, kind of. If that makes any sense. Vehicle modes tend to go pretty quick, I feel, so it's probably not going to be a very long-lasting mode. I would only play if you want to play it before it goes away again in June, most definitely. But yeah, it's definitely getting vaulted again once June comes around, so play it if you want to play it again. It probably won't be back for months or like years, even who fucking knows. It's fucking Rockstar, you never know. I miss when they used to let you play anything anytime you wanted, but nope. As of tuners onwards, it basically stopped doing that. So every single money opportunity should be covered now. I only really wanted to talk more about the Hangar, and then I wanted to mention first dose, since that was not mentioned anywhere else in 1.5 times on the what's news section or anything, besides for Newswire, and then I just did it on stream here. Showed off a couple different, like, things in game for the clothing that you get for the hard mode event and stuff. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I think it's just discounts, pretty much. I think there's only like one vehicle discount, property discounts, and that's it.
What you want? Some wheels? I'll bring it to you.
Oh. Shitty throat, damn it. Hey, for a couple of the remaining discounts left, I did want to talk a bit more about the Hangar. Yeah, Hangar. Wait, what the fuck? How come a lighting engine isn't what I did now? What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, renovations, include style, lighting, or graphics. Office furniture. Least don't live in quarters bar, I would definitely recommend. Again, that allows you to spawn at the hangar, which is definitely a very great spawning location. Has some of the most aircraft usage in the game, pretty much. It's pretty much the property with the most aircraft you can use, making it one of your best options for spawning for sure, since aircraft are so vital, especially helicopters for grinding in the game. What do you really say? It's a top 3, top 5 spawn. In my opinion, it can even be like the #1 spawn location kind of in the game, even as well. And you have traditional modern styles there too. And yeah, Hangar Workshop. That's the customized air vehicles. So as for very rare exceptions like the blimp, pretty much any aircraft from Smuggler Run onward has to be customized in the hangar or stored whatsoever in the hangar. Any aircraft. Any aircraft before Smuggler Run really don't have much of any customization for those ones that were like before Smuggler Run. Smuggler Run aircraft onward pretty much have pretty okay amount of customization since their aircraft are not going to be that plentiful in modifications like the car would be. But yeah, you absolutely need a hangar for newer aircraft so you can like obtain them whatsoever, because newer aircraft are not Pegasus vehicles whatsoever pretty much, so you pretty much require a hangar. Again, I think the only one that's like an exception is like the blimp and stuff like the regular Sparrow that's stored in like the socket instead. But yeah, most newer aircrafts do need that hangar to own it whatsoever, since newer ones are not Pegasus vehicles at all. Oh shit, it's Street Dealer next to HSW Town Toronto's goal. That's what I'm doing this on like very early Monday. Okay, asset for premium. I would do it if I would do acid as premium if I weren't planning a different stream involving the acid. One of the couple miscellaneous, like, streams I still have to do. But yes. One of the couple miscellaneous streams I have to do for sure when it comes to this struggle DLC. Technically the only one I really have to do, but there's a second one I want to do with the casino story missions being soloable now, I think, as well. And yeah, it's actually another discount I forgot to talk about here, the Rogue. Or like, I didn't forget, it just wasn't in the showrooms, so I still have to talk about it, but I kind of meant to mention it like a minute or two ago. But I already mentioned the gun van discounts since I did find the gun van, so I already covered weapon discounts. Covered weapon discounts, property discounts, free and afforded vehicle discounts as well. But yes, the Rogue should be the last discount whatsoever I have to cover here. But yes, on a trade price instead of $1.2 million, it is $840,000 on the 30% off discount here. Under $1 million for this fucking aircraft is fucking crazy, though. And yes, it is a pretty budget aircraft in the game, so it does have certain things that it's not as good at. But it's actually pretty good for a pretty cheap aircraft, not gonna fucking lie. And yeah, it's even under $1 million right now. That's a crazy fucking steal for what you get. So, seems to get a two-seater aircraft that looks like for under $1 million. That's pretty good. Two-seaters on a newer aircraft for this amount of money is definitely pretty solid. It can be pretty nice for grinding for sure in some cases. It's not going to be one of your most useful planes. It's not going to be one you super need to use for grinding, but it can have some strengths over other aircrafts for grinding. But yeah. It has the option of machine guns or explosive machine guns, and then it has missiles. I think are the only weapons. Possibly bombs too, I'm not too sure. I forget. Oh. It does say bomb ban on the description, so it looks like you even do get bombs on it too. But yes, regular machine guns, pretty much like any other vehicle, they're not going to be super practical. Especially on something like a plane where you have one on each side, so they're not as concentrated as like on a land vehicle. Regular machine guns are going to be pretty garbage. I would not go with regular machine guns as they're easy can do that. Has missiles as well. Missiles, they're actually not as good as you would think. Given that Smuggler's Run actually had some pretty good vehicles of missiles, it's not as good as you would think. The missiles themselves are standard tracking like pretty much every other aircraft, so it's not the tracking, it's the cooldown though. But yeah, no aircraft has more than standard tracking missiles pretty much, since aircraft tend to have unlimited missiles, but yes. There is cooldown on the missiles though, as I said. What that essentially means is you're basically locked to 2 missiles and then you have to like wait a couple seconds. So it's like the buzzard attack chopper from like 2013 where you have to wait a couple seconds after using 2 missiles. So there's no missile spam on this vehicle whatsoever. So that really limits the combat capabilities for missiles. And missiles are going to probably be what you use for the most part, given they home in the enemies like usual. But yes, given missiles pretty much home into their targets in this game and stuff, missiles are kind of going to be your best weaponry option. So because of their being cooldown, the missiles does kind of limit the grinding capabilities, as you would kind of expect on a budget aircraft like the Rogue. Does have countermeasures, so you can do flares, chaff, or you can even do like smoke. Smoke countermeasures are just like fun, like cosmetics, pretty much. They don't actually block missiles from hitting you or anything. Flares don't really tend to be that good. Apparently I hear they're glitchy, apparently. I'm not sure about that, but they might be glitchy. Not only that, though, vehicles with no missile cooldown, you can do like 2 missiles, and flares only counteract 1 missile per use. So just do 2 missiles on someone using a flare, and one of them is bound to keep following the vehicle anyways. Isn't too bad for an aircraft though, for flares. It's more so for the case of like a helicopter where you wouldn't really want to use it too much. And then you have chaff. Chaff, when you use it, you don't get locked onto for a few seconds. So it's kind of like a more limited version of what came out later on with the missile lock-on jammer on like a mining tech vehicle, except it's only for a few seconds, not permanently. So it has some nice protection for player versus player, but in enemy combat, your countermeasures don't really matter though. Just for player versus player. But yeah, I would either get flares or countermeasure. Yes, I would either get flares or chaff. I would not get smoke whatsoever, since it's not much of a countermeasure though. But yeah, bomb. For bombs, I think there's standard bombs, incendiary bombs, which are more like fire-based bombs more than explosive-based bombs. Gas bomb, and then the like cluster bombs, I believe. Gas, I think, tends to be better for helicopters for bombs. I wouldn't really go gas. Incendiary. Again, that's like fire-based, and fire does not really tend to be too useful compared to like an actual explosive. And yeah, standard's not really gonna be as good as in and yeah. And yes. Cluster bombing. God damn it, fucking fruit. Might be a minute or so, I don't fucking know. Can I talk now, you fucking fruit? But yes, cluster bombs essentially just more bombs than standard bombs, so not really much of a reason to standard bomb as far as I know. I think easily on aircraft, I think the clusters tend to be best for like an airplane more than like a helicopter. Because like something like a gas grenade wouldn't be too useful for your airplane compared to like a helicopter, yes. And then, yeah. I mentioned machine gun missile to countermeasure bombs. Again, I said earlier you want to get rid of your machine guns as soon as possible. And that's because there's explosive cannons on this, believe it or not. I think aside for the Bombushka, it's actually the only aircraft with explosive cannons from the Smuggler's Run DLC in particular. And yeah, the Bombushka recently did get a price decrease, but I don't even think the cannons work good right now. I think the cannon cameras are like broken on the Bombushka right now, which is pretty funny. So yeah, Rockstar, with all their bugs and glitches in this game, I think the cannons are broken right now on the fucking Bombushka though. It's like at least those explosive cannons on the Rogue work pretty well. And even then, Bombushka, you need other players to pretty much use the explosive cannon. Rogue, I think, is the only like aircraft from the Smuggler Run DLC in particular where there's player-controlled explosive cannons, which is huge. And that's on a fucking budget. And that's on a fucking budget airplane. Not even on an expensive one either. Like, goddamn. I mean, technically you could also count the FH-1 Hunter, but I think I meant more for like airplanes though. So yeah. The explosive cannon, by the way, they're different from the Hydra, the Laser, and the Savage cannons. They're not that crazy overpowered. They're pretty balanced explosive cannons on the Rogue. They're explosives that are very damn good still, but they're not as insta-kill and like overpowered as Hydra, Laser, Savage though. So yeah, the worst missiles the explosive cannons technically make up for, I would say, honestly. That won't be as good for far range targets, good for like mid to close range targets though, I'd imagine. So yeah, this has some very unique money making for has some pretty unique like combat capabilities for a Smuggler Run aircraft in particular. From that one DLC, where most vehicles weren't known to have explosive cannons, Rogue was one of the couple rare exceptions actually. For the Smuggler Run aircraft in particular again, yes. You know, do WC, just to be time trial, and then stash
If you
out
need
stuff
some folks,
along.
one of your rides, let me know.
You know, it will be done pretty much from there.
It's coming at you.
Alright, yes. Every event detail has been covered already. After I talked about the rogue there entirely, of course. But yeah, I was going to do the stash house a little bit earlier. Somebody was kind of in my way in real life, but I think this time trial actually goes to the scrapyard, so I figured I would save it for that, pretty much. I can actually just mark the stash house right now, since it's there. I don't know, just so it's easier to follow along with. Actually, I probably will mark the time trial thing instead, though. Alright, yeah, it does go there. Sweet. So right after that would be a great time to do the stash house, and thought so. I thought I remembered it going there. Ah, fuck, okay. It really is. Like, way ahead of time, I feel. That's good. I don't know if I would have necessarily got before right time there, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I would have got before, like, the time I turned right there if I didn't bump into that wall. Perhaps it was possible, but I didn't lose much of any time for that, really. But yeah. I think that's the, like, first one that's pretty crazy heavy, I feel, in terms of top speed for these HSW time trials. I mean, Vespucci Beach had some highway on it. I feel especially the second one was kind of lacking for like the top speed section, so yeah. Coded like a champ with the stage HSW like I expected, being pretty much the #1 top speed option I think for HSW, for supercar class in particular. And it just so happens I'm doing the 8 right now for HSW time trials. It's the vehicle I'm using for that right now. Now I'm doing the stash house. Because it was coincidentally in the same area pretty much, like I was mentioning earlier. Quite a spot for that headshot whore.
You're so fucking dead. Asshole. Take cover.
Is it invisible in there for real now? What the fuck? I got a bitch head ass.
Let's fucking go.
Not sure I really got that within one magazine to be honest, but yeah. Yeah, I might have got that under one magazine just a little bit. Sure. Not that it really matters to me, but still. $5,291, I think. Yeah, I think so. Pretty good numbers, all pretty close. Alright, yep. All very close from the very start. And yeah, I didn't spawn my sparrow, whatever. We're gonna be done after this anyways here. Alright. Bunker, apparently not one I really like, since I usually just buy one thing of supplies. Yeah. Honestly, I'm fine with a bigger bunker, even if the whole sale doesn't happen. It's still more money than doing a solo sale. Something like a bunker that's not, I don't know, whatever. Honestly, I feel the stash house does actually make like non-solo sales more worth it for solo players. I think it actually does help with that significantly, I think, since you're not paying for those supplies you get for the stash house, and you're earning them through that very simple task. And yes, you're earning them for that very certain task, yes. So it definitely helps significantly for those bigger sales for solo players that don't normally go for that. So bunker might not be too terrible, even if I can't do the whole sale percent solo. So like, I'm not paying for the supplies, it's not like I'm gonna be losing out much of shit. But yeah, I think that's pretty much probably gonna be it for this stream here. Next stream is gonna be fucking next GTA Online event week stream, most likely. Maybe there's something more interesting that happens. whether it's the vehicle being brought back for a limited time only for the ones that they didn't permanently release. That could make it at least a little bit interesting. If not any small new content, thing like the new death matches they did, for example. I don't know, just gotta wait to see. But yeah, I think this month I'm definitely gonna be doing some more miscellaneous streams again. I wanna do like fucking. I wanna do the fucking. What's it called? I mentioned earlier the acid lab stuff, that's right. I really need to get going on that acid lab finally. Showing it off on the stream and shit. I know other people did it, but I can still do it too. And yeah, maybe a second kind of stream I still need to do this solo casino story missions since that's possible now. If I feel like doing that. Honestly, I probably would, because doing them solo would be a whole fuck ton of fun. I did use Tordor on it though, and I don't actually think you can use that even on contact missions anymore, so that's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for the stream though. Hope you enjoyed.